on the radio not too long ago that made me laugh. I don't listen to the radio very often, but I was on a long drive, and they had this insanely long like direction like series. It was like take the 25 to the 52 and then take the 37 to the blah blah blah, and it was like a full minute of directions. I'm like, who the fuck is gonna like?
Let me write that down while I'm driving. Yeah, hang on just a second here.
That's who's the brain behind that ad?
There's a commercial on TV because we don't get cable or anything. We just plug the TV in and get the freaking channels we want. And we're in such a weird area that we get like Nebraska, Casper, Wyoming news. Like we get, and it looks like high school news. It's crazy. But there's like a tree farm close to here. I don't know if you guys have heard the jingle, but the jingle is all directions. It's like go to 25, exit
235, and head 5 miles west to the tree farm.
Every time I pass it,
take a ride at the red truck.
Every time I pass by it, I'm like, they are marketing geniuses.
They are.
It is in my brain. I see it and I see the commercial all the time.
Yeah.
What's that stupid one that the kids are singing? You guys know the one I'm talking about?
No.
Oh damn.
Oh,
Anyway,
damn.
there's a horrible one that gets stuck in your head, and I'm actually kind of glad I can't remember it right now because it's one of those earworm things.
Is it one of those 8777 cars for kids?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, yes.
God,
yes.
Sorry,
it's in
guys.
there.
Now I'm the worst person.
I remember that one. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that person is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever created that. But you know who's worse? The fucking Meow Mix commercial, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh,
that shit came out in the 80s. It is still stuck in my head. Still.
That's what my kitty eats.
Oh my god.
And
man.
every time.
Is it because of the commercial?
No, well, no, it's just, I mean, it just happened. Probably.
Probably, subliminally.
I mean, he didn't get to choose it by buying it, right? So, yeah, probably. But every time, like, me or my husband, like, go to the store, I'm like, get cat food. Oh, which one? Oh, you know the one he asks for.
Oh god.
We do it every time.
Oh
It's
my
gross.
God.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, that's a horrible jingle.
Yeah.
But also amazing.
We're talking about it.
Still.
Yeah.
You know, we are talking about it.
So brainless.
Yeah, so brandless.
So brainless.
Right.
They also have pet products that are organic and good for your pets.
Do they?
Yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff. Well, I just like buying from a company I know where it's come from. Good people, you know, and I've already used them forever.
Yeah.
You know, so it's easy to talk about and eat.
Breadless.
Now that was a really good promo.
Yay!
Yay!
Well done.
Yeah.
Should we talk about something else?
Yeah, I think we probably should.
Okay. I wrote down a couple of things I would like to talk about.
Okay.
That I feel
Sure.
very passionately about.
All right. Is it road rage?
No.
Yeah. Oh.
It's actually there's two things. One's very not important, and one's real important. So here's the not important one. We'll start with first. What do we think about like the Lion King and the Aladdin, like real life remakes? And do you think like does it make you think why don't they just stop doing that? Like they could do new stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like why? Like do I want Beyonce in my Lion King brain? You know what I mean? Do I want Childish Gambino in my Lion King brain? You know? Because I mean, we know those songs. They're all classics. And I'm not hating on anyone better or worse or whatever, but it's been done and it's good and why? You know? Like, I guess it's just money grab, ultimately.
Yeah. Milking a brand.
Right.
I mean, they've already milked the fuck out of it with toys and
Yes.
video, you know, whatever. I don't know if there's a Lion King video game, but there probably is.
There probably is.
There's.
There is.
I absolutely play it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess
Yeah.
my question is like, has there ever been a remake of any sort that was better than the original? That they really brought something new and interesting to it?
Well, and I always like try to think that hopefully that I don't know a remake. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, where my age bracket is, I'm sure there's things that were remade. Because I am an Annie fan. Love Annie.
Yeah.
The 1985, 86
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I don't
Probably
do,
the best one.
I
Right?
don't do any
Yeah.
remakes. I'm not going to have it. No.
You don't want Cameron Diaz as your.
Nope, not. I don't want any remakes. I don't
As the
care.
bald guy.
That would have been a way better movie.
No way, no how. I want my Carol Burnett as Miss Hannigan, and I'm not messing around. I'm unanimous in this.
Yeah. I can't think of a remake that I've ever been like, wow, that was an
Yeah.
amazing remake.
I mean,
Right.
You know?
Like, why did they-
why do them? I mean, aside from the obvious money grab thing, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe they really think they're bringing some creative juice and reinvigorating. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think too. I mean, reboot the Spider-Man series. Personally, I was like, the new series is better than the original stuff. But remakes,
Yeah.
Right.
It's one thing if it's a continuation of the story,
right?
Yeah.
but like
The exact
completely
same
New story to do
Yeah.
it again is just
like
Yeah.
a Dark Crystal is coming out soon on
yeah.
Netflix, right?
That's
Like that's interesting to me because I was a kid and the Dark Crystal was like amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So but it's not a remake, it's a continuation of the story in the same universe.
Yes.
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I've got no problems with that.
And you can kind of see like what other people think about where it goes, or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
get into somebody else's mind too. But that's creative. That's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, that's totally different from just ripping off the exact same.
Yeah.
Doing
You
it
know,
all over again.
And we can all think of really bad ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're all terrible. But
Yeah.
I don't like too that, like, I don't know, that they don't call it two or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
when it's such an obvious also.
Yeah.
You know, they should call it also instead of two. Also, the Lion King.
Yeah, I don't think I would watch it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really care to.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
I mean, I'll absolutely be there on opening day, but
yeah.
You will?
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it a nostalgia thing for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
nostalgia freak, so I'm a loser that way. So you guys are smart making adult decisions.
They're like, why do we make it? That.
Right, yeah, this right over here.
Oh,
The
this is let me
circle
give you a
of
pocket.
life.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
taking my money.
I will say this though, I would go see the Broadway play.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I've
Yeah.
heard
True.
that that's actually a pretty incredible experience.
Well, that's crazy to do that in front of our faces. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It's not CGI, you know? Like, that's, I mean, any.
You're
play,
talking costumes,
production,
live
yeah.
singing, like set changes, all kinds of, you know, like that level of theater is amazing.
Yeah.
That, I mean, but in that dedication and the
Yeah.
way that, I mean,
The
I
arts, of it, the
almost-
art, craftsmanship.
always cry at every live performance. Like,
Really?
it's gross. Yeah, because I get real into, like, God, how long did it take them? And they probably know each other so well, especially like ballets and stuff. That's crazy to me. The first time
You
I
think
ever-
about that stuff
Yeah.
while you're watching it?
Yeah.
Like you're not
Wow.
like absorbed in the story.
I am absorbed in the story, and I'm
You're like, how the
absorbed-
fuck did they do that?
No, I'm just like, I'm absorbed in like how well they're presenting it.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I've walked out of intermissions at some place that I've been to where it was just like, I guess the director just, you know, cast all their friends or something. You know what I mean? Where I was just like, this is garbage. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've walked out and not gone back, you know, whatever. But I've seen stuff too where I'm like, oh, damn. You know, like they
Yeah.
really, like, shit. I was watching in Charleston, a production of Fiddler on the Roof. It was just, oh my gosh, it was so fun. And they, it was like just like a black box theater. And they had the chairs sort of in an L, so you're kind of in the story. Like, I get overwhelmed with stuff like that. I'm like, they're doing so good, oh my god, and I'm so proud. I don't know. It gets me, because I've done stuff like that, and it's a camaraderie on stage that,
Totally.
you know, when it works, it's so good.
Yeah.
You know, and you
I-
can't capture it.
No, it's impossible. You know, I worked for 2 years as a writer and actor for a melodrama theater, so
Nice.
musicals and shit.
Okay.
Nice.
So we were writing plays and performing them and stuff. And man, it was fun. And yeah, the camaraderie was a really incredible part of the whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was definitely like like maybe a tiny notch above community theater level.
Right.
You know, like quality.
Right.
It was hokey.
For
They were
resources.
all silly, you know, spoofs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple originals we wrote, but for the most part, they were parodies. You know,
Right.
but I enjoy theater.
That's fun. Yeah, I took a class in writing plays,
Oh, cool.
and I wrote one, and the whole class was basically like you write a play, they get actors, and you watch, and then after the group watches your play, you get critiques and stuff, and it was awesome. Like I really enjoyed seeing words that I wrote being performed and people laughing when they were supposed to, and you know,
It's
like
a fun experience.
it really was. It was really cool, but it's a lot of work, and it is a lot of my confidence was shook a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I mean, it stressed me out.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to do it again, and I want to get more into that, but it's stressful. Like, and I mean, I will have 20 different ways to say the same thing and question myself over and over.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes you'll think something sounds good, and then during a read through, people
Yeah.
stumble over the words, and you go, okay, well, maybe that's not right then.
Yeah. Well, and I'm always open to be like, change it, you know, and it won't hurt my feelings, you know, but sometimes it will hurt your feelings a little bit.
If it's a joke you really care about
Right.
or something, you get this sort of precious mentality about it. You know?
Mhm. I usually can let it go, but it's just a lot of ego in something like that. A good ego, not bad ego. I don't think anybody's gonna do that.
There's always a little bit of ego, I think, when you're creating something like that a group of
Yeah.
people are performing, putting together. Like,
Yeah.
you can be humble about it too, but like, just the audacity of like writing something and then, here, everybody, perform this.
Yes.
That's, you know,
Yeah.
there's inherently at least some ego in that, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. And everything I'm saying is gonna be right and good. You know?
Yeah. So you didn't direct it also?
No. It was just like, and it was very like a small little theater company. It was just like a couple of chairs and
Yeah.
us trying way too hard. Like
Yeah.
I love acting. I jump right in. It's my favorite thing in the world. But it's you can't really get paid very easily to do it,
Yeah.
and it's hard to focus on stand up, which is also something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta do it. Like I have to do a day job so I can like eat food and live,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So cramming all that.
It's hard to make a living doing that shit.
Yeah, it really is. And you have to, I mean, even stand up, like, you don't really make money doing stand up, but
Come on.
yeah.
After like 25 years.
Right, that's true. I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I start at 25 years?
It's like, what's that Mitch Hedberg joke that this is all part of my get rich slow plan?
Right. Yeah,
I always thought that was funny because it's incredibly true.
yeah, it really is. The workshop we did a workshop last night, listeners, and stand-up comedians could just tell their jokes and get feedback afterwards that they wanted, or choose the route that I chose, where I was like, everyone's heard this joke. There was a lot of people that already heard my stuff. I was like, everyone's heard this joke. This is how I'm opening it. I don't like it. I think I'm gonna go this way, because the opener I had, I couldn't do in every room. It's a very specific type of people that were gonna yay me on it, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to get away from trying to have a crowd reaction at the beginning of the joke. This is the way I'm thinking about doing it, and then getting feedback from people like, you know, hey, I think you should start it this way. It's awesome, but it was very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, just being your friends though is better.
It helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like to have other people be like, I see where you're going, and it would be easier if you said it this way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's exactly what I'm trying to get. You know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Like every once in a while, a friend will throw you a tag or something.
Mhm.
And that kind of changes the trajectory of the joke altogether and makes it better.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Or like pulling out old jokes that hadn't worked ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and I'm like, I'm gonna try this again.
Yeah.
I have this new level of how I feel about comedy. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
if I put a new spin on it, and then I'll try to tell it, and I'll be like, I'm not that person anymore. This sucks.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
I know. I've rarely revisited jokes. I think there was one that was a few years old that I tried a couple months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and literally maybe told it twice, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I wasn't quite sure, but it's kind of similarly, like I had changed a lot. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, I don't know.
It just didn't feel right coming out of my mouth.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't believe this anymore.
Is that a dick joke?
It was actually yeah, I don't feel this anymore.
Yeah.
But it was actually a joke about having kids, and I was traveling in an RV at the time that I wrote the joke, and I was like, where would I put it?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I guess I could take my clothes out of my closet and put them in the bathroom or something. I mean, it is my child, and I'd do anything for my child, you know. And then I went on a whole Harry Potter kick about raising a baby in the closet, you know.
A wizard baby.
Right. In America, or in foggy London town, it's a wizard baby, but in America, you just white people raising a white kid in an RV closet.
Yeah, you don't want to say white people, RV, and wizard.
Right, that's true. That's true. Gotta stay away from that. I am
Yeah.
from the south. No, but like I have a nephew now, and I would never put a baby in a closet. That's just silly to me now. Like it doesn't.
Like, especially if it's not even like chained up or anything.
Exactly. Look at away. Or I haven't drugged him first.
Oh, you're getting dark.
Ah.
And this is where Mandy's mom will be making the phone call
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I'm gonna get a text
It's,
tomorrow. Yeah, whatever. It'll be a little whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, it just wasn't like it wasn't funny to me anymore. I was like, I would never do that, you know.
Hmm.
Before I had a nephew, I said, kids schmids. Ugh. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, he's an actual person. He came out of my sister. Oh shit. Yeah.
That's some trippy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Seriously.
Like he wasn't a thing and now he's a thing.
Seeing a head come out of a vagina would fucking change your
I didn't
life.
see all that. I saw more than I wanted to.
You know what I didn't expect when I saw it was like, okay, here's the baby. That was shocking enough because I
Right.
like looked down, there's a fucking head like halfway out. But then like after the baby's out and everything, the placenta just like slides out
Yeah.
and like plops.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that. Like
Yeah.
intellectually, like somewhere I knew in my brain that it was coming.
Yeah.
But like
Mm-hmm.
the shock of the sight of it, I was
Mhm.
not prepared for.
Yeah. That's not my. It's not a goal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people freeze that shit.
Oh.
Or and like cook it.
And the
eat it.
umbilical cord.
Yeah. It's not. I always think about Coneheads. Do you remember?
I don't
Because
know.
he fights it.
I don't remember that.
Bites the
Oh,
umbilical
that's
cord.
right, yeah, bites
and
it
he
off.
swallows it. Yeah, and he chews it.
The placenta.
No, the
Or the
umbilical
umbilical
cord.
cord.
They,
Oh.
they go to hand him scissors.
Yeah,
and
would
he's
you
like,
like to-
ah!
Oh,
He
wow.
just fights it because he's a conehead.
Yeah.
Is from France. So gross.
I'm also glad it's not me making the old movie references. Today.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good. That's my job.
Yeah, there's only a handful of terrible movies I know. And that's one.
Yeah. I think I only saw it that one time, like when it came out.
Oh,
And I
I
haven't
love
seen
it.
it
I love
since.
Jean Curtin.
She is cool.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Aykroyd's good in that one.
Yeah.
Fairly's good in that.
Jean Curtin.
Okay.
Aykroyd had some pretty weird movies.
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the day.
He's a weird guy.
For
Was
sure.
Was it Nothing But Trouble? Is
Mhm.
that-
Yeah.
Super weird?
That's probably the weirdest.
That was the
one.
weirdest.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what like.
I just had like the vision of what he looked like burned into my brain.
Yeah, it's yuck.
It's totally
Yeah, it's really really yuck.
Yeah. You guys should hear about the things that like he didn't get made. He had a Ghostbusters movie that he wrote where they go to hell and fight off demons.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mandy's kind of on board with this
I'm
idea.
just saying, like, would he be fighting everyone? Like, I mean, are there not demons in hell?
no, I mean,
And it's still just 4 of them?
yeah, actually,
Yeah,
three,
right. That's what I'm saying.
No,
You're
no,
totally outnumbered.
3. Bill Murray was actually a ghost.
Oh.
And they're just gonna take over hell.
Yeah, and like fight off demons or some shit. Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
lofty. That's
So, like, when was this written?
In the 90s, like I think it was like 92, 93.
And the studios looked at it like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Exactly. Like we don't do Coke movies anymore. Like,
Right.
like,
right. just gonna go straight to hell.
Yeah.
Now he's
Start
a
killing demons.
UFO buff and a tequila maker.
Exactly right. It's like
Is he? Who are we talking about?
Dan Aykroyd,
Oh.
and his
I
skull.
don't know. Everybody makes tequila now.
I don't know, but his are. I haven't tasted it, but it's He's got the ones that are like the crystal skulls.
Yeah, the skull
Oh,
head.
cool.
The skull head.
That's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
From a branding like packaging.
it
standpoint,
looks cool.
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
tastes like shit, but
I'm not a tequila drinker. It's not my. I'll drink margaritas, but
yeah.
It's one of those. It's definitely one of those alcohols. If you had a bad experience, you're never revisiting it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink it, but I'm not like. I'd rather have a glass of bourbon.
Just smelling it. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's. I drink bourbon. That's my safe. I'll just put ice in it. Call it a day.
I think I could never drink tequila again because when I was in the military, my first day in the barracks up in Washington State, when I had to room with a guy, and he went out in Seattle and got wasted and ate probably 3 pounds of French fries, and he came back to the barracks and just puked
Oh.
and puked and puked and puked. And I left. I actually just left. I was like, I'm gonna go stay in a hotel tonight.
Yeah.
And when I came back in the morning, he was still passed out, vomited French fries all over him,
Oh.
laying in the bed half naked. I was like, oh god,
How old
man.
was he? Or
I think he was a little younger than me, and I was 20 at the time.
20.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
There we go.
About that age, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the age where you do that dumb shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I can't even think about I don't know. I have 2 drinks and I'm like, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up feeling absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and you can just get alcohol up there if you're in the military. It was easy.
Yeah.
I mean underage people.
Oh yeah, I grew
Yeah.
up in a military town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Jacksonville, North
Really?
Carolina. Yeah, Jacksonville, North Carolina, home of Camp Lejeune Marine Base.
There you
Was a
go.
local.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family still lives there. But yeah, it's super easy to
Yeah.
get whatever
Yeah.
you want. Yeah.
Hookers.
Yeah, it's a lot of pawn shops, strip clubs,
Yep.
car dealerships,
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Money to spend.
Yeah,
It's true. The sort of predatory businesses do well.
Mhm.
Places like that. Those paycheck
yeah,
Yeah.
lender places.
yes. It's kind of makes me nervous because it's the recruiters go to these small towns and, get these babies that are barely graduating high school and they're like, come on, be a hero. And they come in these shitty little towns and
Yeah.
not that Jacksonville's a terrible town. There's some pretty awesome people there. My family's there, but
What? I'm sorry. What state is it again?
North Carolina.
It is in North Carolina. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, but they basically, teach them how to kill people.
Yeah. You know how many people I met in the military that were from North Carolina?
Oh, I'm sure a ton.
Just,
Yeah.
more than any other state. Seriously.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that Camp Lejeune was last I heard, it was the second biggest aquatic base in the United States. It's huge, and a lot of my friends, if their parents were in the military, they went in the military. Both
Yeah.
my grandfathers were in the military, so
Yeah.
it's very and it's not bad, obviously. If you want to go in the military, go in the military, but I couldn't go out to a club or anything.
Right.
It was 10 guys to 1 girl, and there's always a fight or always something.
Yeah.
Always something. So
It's definitely douchebag central.
yeah, and I appreciate anybody that goes in the service. Thank you for your
I don't
service.
think-
I do, but it's not everybody. You know what I mean? I don't. Fuck 'em. No.
No, I don't. I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of goddamn idiots
Yeah.
in the military. There are
Yeah.
a lot of fucking
At the end of the
stupid
day,
people.
it's a job. It's a job that you chose.
There are also a lot of brilliant people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of really intelligent people in there also.
Right.
Absolutely.
Also, there were officers, that had the luxury of being able to go to college before they came in.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they, finagled a deal where they're going to college while they're in,
Mm-hmm.
but they're in an officer program, so they're getting more money, they've got more clout, all that stuff.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I knew somebody who literally bottomed up, and he's literally like a diplomat now. And like,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
had no extra, and he worked his way through his military FBI training now. I mean, yeah, but most people are douchebags. So.
Yeah.
yeah.
My best friend that's married to the doctor, she met him in Jacksonville. He's a Marine. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I mean, it's just there's exceptions.
Yeah.
I used to try to hide the fact that I was in the military. You know, if I wanted to go into Seattle, because my ship was stationed in Bremerton, which is like, I don't know, a 45-minute ferry ride to Seattle. And, yeah, when you go over there, like, they can tell, you know, you go to downtown Seattle, they can tell, you know, or at least, like, in my brain, I thought they could tell. You
That
know?
you were in the military.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
like, I was
They
like,
could tell.
I was afraid everybody would think I was an idiot if I, you know, so I would be like, oh god, I don't want to look like one of those guys, you know, and you know, I'd stay away from the places where the military guys went, and
Right.
stuff, you know,
Yeah.
because there was a stigma because they, you know, they would go over there and they would go to bars, they would fight and do dumb shit, you
There's
know,
a stigma around every.
treat
yeah.
women like shit and just like
Mhm.
hit on every woman, like I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
be
numbers game.
sleazy,
It's a numbers game.
yeah,
Yeah. It's gross.
seriously, yeah,
Yeah.
but
But I mean, you get that hive mind, that hive mentality too, like where everyone's together being douchebags, so it's completely acceptable.
Right.
You know, all of a
Right.
sudden it's like normal.
yeah,
But I mean, that's male behavior.
yeah.
Put a bunch of them together, teach them how to do cool shit. You know, give them explosives. I mean, we sit and like eat dinner in Jacksonville, and you can feel the ground shake. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people that had never been there before, like I'd take home just friends. Like, what is that? And we're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, the sound of freedom.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
just
sound.
an eagle flying by.
Right. Speaking of, I wrote down. I don't know if you guys looked up any of it, but the protests in Germany. Did
Yeah,
you look at some of that? They
I
were
read a
fighting
little bit of it.
the coal mine. They just ran in there. Yeah, they wanted to disrupt fossil fuel production.
Oh.
So like hundreds of people just ran up in there and like chained themselves.
Thousands.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy.
Wow.
Like I
You
watched
see the
the
video?
Yeah, the
The
video.
cops like snatching motherfuckers.
Yeah, the video I saw, there was this one cop just snatching up the shortest people he could see. I was like, that is fucked
Yeah.
up. Like,
Pussy.
yeah, just grab
Low-hanging
little girls
fruit?
and shit. I was like,
Oh
that's
shit.
bullshit. But that's what he was doing. You could
Yeah,
see
you
him
don't
doing
want to
it.
fuck around and grab the wrong person, get his ass beat. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm. That's
That
yes.
12-year-old girl is not going to kick my ass today.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and they, yeah, they like chained themselves, and the cops were coming with like wire cutters and cutting the chains, cutting the locks and stuff. But it made me think about like the Dakota Access Pipeline,
Mhm.
like stuff here.
Yeah.
You know, where cops are basically protecting corporations.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's
Absolutely.
what they're doing. They're not in there trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong.
Right.
They're protecting a corporation's equipment, which I understand. I mean that's obviously their property and their right, but still no need to be snatching up them little ones like he was.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I just don't know that like climate change. I mean, I guess with the Dakota Access Pipeline, we had something like that here, but I kind of feel like I don't know. Not that we're too stupid, but we're too. I don't know that we could organize ourselves.
Yeah, no.
We fight too much, maybe. So
We couldn't get Hands Across America to work. We're not like getting thousands of people to run in a cave. Like,
hands across America. It's true. We didn't get that to work.
no, there's some gaps.
There was some cool shit happening when the pipeline thing was happening.
Yeah, there was some awesome shit
Yeah.
happening there.
I mean, I knew a dude. Well, I knew him through another person, but he was doing supply runs from here,
Nice.
loading up a truck, driving there, dropping off supplies. And my wife and I, you know, we put in like some cases of water and
Yeah.
other shit. You know, like I don't know, man. Like anytime like the people versus corporations, I'm always gonna come down on the people's side.
Me too. That's the thing. Like people were saying, because I have obviously living in the South, I have a few family members who feel differently, and I'm
Yeah.
like always on the side of the people. Always. Like there's no a corporation's not trying to make you better. They're trying to make money for themselves. Like that's
The fucking pipeline broke even.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course it did. And
Of course it did.
of course it got got built, and of course it broke. Like that's it's what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know.
so fucking stupid.
And I mean, there's not too much we can do about it, but
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool watching all those people
No.
dressed like just bum rushing them. Like that was
Yeah,
really neat and really, I don't know. But like you think about it, like what I try to think about, like what I'm using in the environment, whatever. But I'm only one person, so I don't know that a lot of people are worried about that because we stay distracted.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the government. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like when the Dakota thing was happening. I don't want to get too political, but I mean, sometimes I have some views that don't
Right.
jive. But like I was like sitting there going, "Hey, everybody who thinks that Obama's a fucking liberal hero, why isn't that motherfucker doing anything?
He didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
He didn't do a goddamn
He didn't
thing.
do anything.
He stood back and he's like, ah, fuck you bitches, I'm out of office." soon."
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I feel the same way. I feel the same way about even politicians that were back in the day that we look up to, like, oh, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, and he's a politician.
Yeah.
He did that for a reason. He negotiated something with somebody to better himself. That's what politicians do. None of them, like, I mean, it started with fighting over land and taking things that weren't ours. Like, this is not new, you know? Like, it always started with fighting with what's ours and, you know, what's mine and whose is that, and let's draw a line. Like,
Yeah, my wife and I were talking the other day about how there's always new groups to. I mean, there's right now it's the Mexicans' turn
Mm-hmm.
to be the big bad demons.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, everybody takes a turn here, man.
it's so true.
You know, the blacks got it the worst. You know, obviously, gays. You know, I mean, the Irish once upon a time. I mean,
Yeah.
immigrants in general.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you know, have
Yeah.
had it bad in this country.
It's never stopped. That's how the country started.
We're
you
a pretty
know.
gross country.
Yeah,
in a
we're
lot
pretty
of ways.
yuck. Like that's the thing that makes me crazy about people who want to sit there and argue with me because I'm like, why did this start? What are we doing? We're arguing about the same shit that we've argued about since this country started.
Yeah.
Like,
And people are awful. Like I saw this article today on Facebook that was like, they talked about how the 4 bodies were found at the Rio Grande or whatever, like the river.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, don't ever scroll through the comments, man. It's
Yeah.
a fucking wasteland of like human
oh, it really
awfulness.
is.
Like, and this one guy, like, for some reason, his like comment is like burned into my brain. He goes, "Good, 4 less people to deal with."
Oh.
Like, come on, you fucking
Those are people.
asshole.
Those are people. Like,
No, they're
that's-
not. They're brown people.
Oh, it's
It's
so
not the same.
stupid. It's so stupid.
I
It's the
know.
same thing in like, I mean, I've always worked for, you know, corporations, whatever. And accounting versus people, you know, like numbers versus
Yeah.
people is very prevalent, like with collections with what I do, you know.
hmm
Like and I've done temp jobs, I've done, I mean, whatever, but it's a number versus people. Like you have to actually pick up the phone and call this person and, you know, it's not just an abstract thing, like,
Yeah.
which a lot of people don't, I mean, on a micro and a macro level even understand.
Yeah. Speaking of, what do you guys think about the Bernie Sanders thing from today?
What did he
Were
say?
they planning on where he would like to wipe out
out.
all student debt?
Didn't Elizabeth
Yeah.
Warren say she was going to do that too?
You know, yeah.
Because I already said that whoever's going to do that,
Yeah.
that's where my vote's
Yeah,
going.
yeah. I'm sure that there are differences between their plans. I haven't
Yeah.
read into them, to be honest.
Right.
But on the surface, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the greatest idea.
I am down. Like, let's do it.
I
Yeah.
borrowed $29K for college, and it's now $49K.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I did the same thing.
That's
I
insane.
did the same thing. I borrowed like I think 10, and now it's like 15 or something. Like I've still been paying on like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it won't go away. It's gonna be there forever. It's the only debt I have. It's literally the only debt I
Yeah.
have. That's it. I don't have any other credit card. I know I wear the same. You see me wearing the same shit every day. Like I don't buy clothes. I don't. You know, I've never been that person to be like, I need this, I need that. You know, I don't care. I live very simply, and that's the only debt I have. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That's how they get you. That's how this whole country gets
Yeah.
you. That's how they get you. They wait when you're young and you're stupid.
Yeah.
They get you, and so they can have you the whole time you're growing up. Like,
After I had taken on some of my college debt, I wised up. I realized like what I had done.
mm-hmm.
I remember being a part of some protests that happened on campus, like the first week of college, where there's all those vendors, like with tables around campus
Yes.
and signing 18-year-olds up.
for
credit
cards.
cards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about predatory?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
was at
allure
one of
of,
those
like-
tables. I got an umbrella.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah.
18, there's part of your brain that's almost like this is money for nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel the transaction really.
Mm-hmm.
There's an emotional like detachment
Yeah.
or detachment from reality of what you're doing, kind of.
Well, and you don't have, and your parents are just as distracted,
Yeah.
with their bullshit, and they're not paying attention to what you're doing. Maybe you don't even tell them,
Yeah.
Right.
or maybe your parents don't even know.
Parents should be protecting the kids, but I went to like a commuter school, where
Yeah.
like when people were just going there, and it wasn't necessarily like I'm off to college kind
Right.
of thing, living in a dorm, and
Right. I went off to college and lived in the dorm and did the whole thing, and I shouldn't have. I
Why?
wasn't ready.
yeah,
I wasn't.
like mature,
Maturity,
you weren't mature?
like where my family was at, and just like personal crap that was going on around me. I probably should have waited,
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
years. And I just went in not knowing what I wanted to do. Like my first 2 semesters, my first year, I was on Dean's List. I got all A's. It wasn't hard. It was just someone to do it,
Yeah.
And then as I've matured, I've gone back to school a few times, but I just take classes I want to.
Mhm.
I have a lot of credits because
Yeah.
I just like to go take fun classes. Like I took I'd actually applied for a job and told them that I could do all this stuff, and then I got hired, and then I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
ooh, I better take a computer class. So I took like a Comm 110 class, and I was like, well, I have to take this class because I lied about a bunch of stuff. So I took like a religion 101 class just to counteract it, so it would be something that I have to, and something that I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of that stuff, and I think if I took a foreign language, I would have a degree. But I'm not good at foreign languages, and it doesn't interest me. So,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know what the whole point of that is, to make us well-rounded, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a foreign language to
Yeah.
get a college degree or whatever. I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what's really helped my marketing career is learning how to map the ocean floor. That's been really useful.
Has it?
Oh, yeah. I use it daily.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And I map part of the ocean floor each day.
I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we'll do, guys. I think if you listen to this episode of this podcast, you deserve a college credit. You've learned way
Yes.
more than you would have learned in almost any semester ever,
That's
you
true.
guys.
Yeah. Are we
But,
wrapping it up?
I think we should maybe a little bit. But thank you,
you.
James, for coming
Yeah.
in. I appreciate
That's
it.
fun.
That was great.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you have anything you'd like to promote? Anything? Shows? Twinks? Leaks? I don't know.
Yeah, so if you're in the Longmont area, I have a new comedy show, stand-up comedy show in Longmont. The next one is going to be on August 3rd. It's at La Vida Bella on Main Street.
Nice.
Awesome.
So Saturday, August 3rd, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Tickets are $10. The next headliner on that show is Nancy Norton.
Yes,
Ooh.
go see Nancy. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cool.
That was great.
That was fun.
That was fun. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, guys,
Yay.
for having me.
Yeah.
That
for
was
sure.
great.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
Conversation didn't stop.
Nope.
I try to I'm loaded but not,
We go what?
I'm loaded but not.